Good afternoon. This is Bob Georgiou from Remax Accord coming to you with a bi-weekly real estate report. This one's going to be a little bit late, filmed on the 20th. Last video crashed for some reason. Going to have to re-upload it here. It's going to look like I put up 2 new videos, but it's only one with the re-upload of another. Appreciate you taking the time to watch the videos. Roll the intro. This week, we're after the Super Bowl, and as expected, the buyers have come back into the market in force. We are seeing double-digit multiple offers on most properties, and the inventory is on the increase, but it is not yet caught up with the inventory, and I don't expect it to catch up to the inventory for a while. We have under 20 units in all price points in all segments, from Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill, Martinez, Danville, San Ramon. Clearly not enough to satisfy the buyer demand out there, which is driving the double-digit multiple offers. And the exception, of course, is the exception is Walnut Creek Townhomes, where we're getting only where we have 45 units. It's the closest thing to a neutral market we are currently in. And Concord single family homes, where we have 30, which is an increase. It is significant, but it is not enough to tip the markers in any way, shape, or form. We are still in a strong seller's market. We are going to be in a strong seller's market for the next few months. The effective interest rates will be nominal, and I'll explain that in a minute, because this is the week that I'm going to talk about the 5 reasons why we will not see a real estate correction in the Bay Area. So, the 5 reasons for we are not having a price correction in 2023, from the weakest to the strongest. Reason number 5 is a structural housing shortage. Back in 2000, ABAG stated, which is the Bay Area Regional Governance Planning organization that last met and did a report, stated that there was a housing shortage of 3 units to 1 potential buyer of a home in the Bay Area. Obviously, from 2000 all the way up to 2020, we have seen population increases, and the construction of new units, housing units, has not kept up with that demand. We have seen a lot of apartment units coming on recently, but it's still not anywhere close to having enough to seen property increases for all the way up to 2020. I mean, we have seen some exodus in population, but it's not enough to tip the scales, force a real estate market to shift in favor of the buyers. We're going to have to see some sort of construction boom for that to happen, and there's simply no place to go in the Bay Area but up, and there is not a lot of construction on new high-rise multifamily units going up in the area. The last ones that came online were after the big bubble correction. Since then, it's been mostly apartment unit construction and single family construction, but not nearly in the numbers it is to tip the scale. So that's we have a structural housing shortage. It's going to be a structural housing shortage until the laws change, which the government has done with the new duplex law and the abolition of single family zoning for the most part. Just a quick commentary on that. The state's going to roll some of that back due to parking issues in a lot of areas. Probably end up doing another standalone video on that somewhere down the road once more information comes out on that. And we'll go from there. But things are happening, but we're not going to see the impact of these laws for half a decade to a decade down the road to have any nominal, real impact on the housing situation in the Bay Area. Reason number 4, we have an actual housing shortage. As I mentioned, there's only 20 units in all price points, all the way up and down the 680 corridor. This isn't the kind of numbers that you need to have in order to get the buyers into homes, and the price supply and demand balance to go in a way that favors the buyers. So until that changes, and that's going to be when interest rates seriously change, or there is a a larger exodus, or there's a larger exodus out of the Bay Area. That's something that is fixable, but until the buyers leave the market, get priced out of the market, or there's a huge wave of inventory, we're in an actual housing shortage at the moment, and it's going to be a strong seller's market for the plannable future. Reason number 3, high incomes, .com money in the Bay Area. Average starting income for a .comer is about 200 grand plus stock options. This gives a lot of buying ability to people who currently own homes in the Bay Area, and people who want to buy homes in the Bay Area. Very easy to qualify on a single income, and a lot of the lifestyle around here is double income. So I mean, with $400,000, you can easily afford a $1.5 million property with a reasonable down payment, and that's going to drive the buyers into the market for a long time. And given those incomes, if there is an interest rate increase moving forward, they will be able to absorb a lot of it. I mean, they're going to have to get into the high 5s to begin to price out the non.com population in the Bay Area, and that may have an actual increase on supply and demand. But all it's going to do is knock down the 20 offers we're seeing on all these properties down to 10 offers, or a handful of offers. It'll still be a mild seller's market, but it'll be one that is perfectly manageable, not insanely crazy in favor of the sellers. Reason number 2, low interest rates. Interest rates are in the high 3s, low 4s right now. This is still super low. When I got into the business, the average interest rate was 7, and we were seeing multiple offers for $1 million houses, and this was 10 years ago. You do the algebra on the current incomes and economics of living in the Bay Area, and that hasn't changed all that much. So seeing interest rates at 5, 5.5, not going to have a huge impact. It will have some. It will moderate the market so that the buyers that can afford the higher interest rates will have a easier time getting into the market, but there will still be competitive. It'll still be multiple offers. As I mentioned a little while ago, it'll just be a handful of offers as opposed to double digits. And interest rates are really going to have to get up significantly higher than where they are for us to see a supply and demand rebalancing. I believe, and I probably do the math on this separately, but off the top of my head, I believe like a full point in interest rates is only like $500 or $600 worth of increase in payment. And if you're making $400,000 a year household income, you could swing it. Obviously the average person, somebody making a more reasonable income, it looks more like, upper middle class, $125,000, $150,000 with a family. That $500 or $600 is going to be significant. It's going to affect what they are able to buy, but all this is going to put them in as a different price point. It won't price them out of the Bay Area. Okay, so recap. Reason number 5, structural housing shortage. Reason number 4, actual housing shortage. Reason number 3, .com and high incomes in the Bay Area. Reason number 2, low interest rates. And reason number 1 is Prop 19. Prop 19 is a proposition that enables somebody who is over 55 to relocate anywhere in the state and take their Proposition 13 tax base with them anywhere they want to go. What this means to us in the Bay Area is that there are so many working class, upper middle income people who have bought their homes 10, 20 years ago, who now have them paid off, who purchased them for $100, $300, sometimes less. I've seen some long-term homeowners that are in their 70s who bought here in the Bay Area, $60,000, $70,000. now living in $1 million, $2 million homes, and they're locked into their houses. They, up till pre Prop 19, they could have taken their tax bases with them, but only to select counties, many of which were not urbanized. But now, under the new law, these retirees can go anywhere. They can move to Sacramento. They can move from the peninsula here to central Contra Costa County. And we are seeing a lot of that. I would say at least 10 to 15% of our market, as best I can gauge it, are these people who are selling their houses in San Francisco, who are selling their houses in Santa Clara, for a couple $1 million, coming over here and buying $1 million house and then taking $1 million and enjoying their retirements with it. It's just, it's freed up a lot of buyers at a time when interest rates are going up, and that's actually the way it should be. But in the near term, it's jamming our market up a little bit, and it is adding a little bit of fuel to fire. And it will continue to allow our market to increase prices, because these buyers that are coming in, an increase or decrease in price is just a number on a piece of paper to them. If their house in San Francisco actually started going down, which it's by far not, actually that's not true. There is evidence that in the fourth quarter last year that there was a mild correction in San Francisco and their homes went down. But they're still coming over here with cash, and if you have $100,000 or $200,000 bases on your property, it's a number on a piece of paper. You come over here and you'll be able to save a little bit or save a lot on the home you end up buying, and it's not as if these people have to will have to have regular 9-to-5 jobs and be able to pay off $1 million mortgage. These are retirees. They're getting their money in cash. They're paying for the houses in cash. They're taking their Prop 30 tax bases with them. In many cases, they're moving down from higher priced homes down to lower priced homes. And we have a lot of those to burn. There are millions of houses on the peninsula, and there are hundreds of thousands of houses in our area where the homeowners are already retired, who have been locked into their homes because they wanted to remain in the Bay Area, but didn't have the income to qualify for the new higher prices, and they couldn't take their Prop 13 with them. And now they're able to move anywhere in California and move closer to their kids, move down to LA, move down to Orange County, San Diego, what have you, and take their savings and profit with them. We are going to be burning these transfer buyers for at least 2 or 3 years. I think the wave is still yet to hit us. I think we're going to see more of an impact in this moving forward, because we're starting from zero. Law just went into effect in the first quarter of this year, or last year, first quarter last year. Any event, so as the word gets out, as more people begin to learn about this, they will take advantage of it. What that lies down the road, again, this analysis is for 2023. The powers that be try to keep the status quo in election years. It is an election year going into the midterms. What happens after November and the third quarter and next year is anybody's guess. That's an off year. So whatever correction the powers that be want to force on the market, it will happen then. I do expect interest rates to go up. But most economists say long-term, those rates are going to go back down. So 2023 certainly falls into the long-term. It can go either way. And, you know, another year will click by with the impact of these new state laws getting into things. The duplex law hasn't even gone into effect. And that'll go into effect here in the second quarter of this year. So we will see, we will start to see that coming into play in 2023, 2024. And it'll keep the roller coaster going for at least a little while. But we're definitely standing on shifting sands. But in the short term, it's all of a seller's market. Long term, outlook is a little hazy. We could potentially correct in 2023, 2024. But, you know, A lot of things can happen, and it's very hard to predict, you know, that far down the road. So anyways, I hope you found the information informative. My name is Bob Georgiou with Remax Accord, 925-980-3248. If you live in Central Contra Costa County, feel free to contact me. Happy to discuss your housing questions with you. Feel free to leave a comment down below. As I see them, I will respond to them. I appreciate you taking the time out to watch the video. In the meantime, hope you have a great weekend, and then we'll see you out there in escrow. Have a great week.